Okay, we're good here.
You're live?
You're live!
We're live! Oh my goodness. Welcome, welcome, welcome everyone over on my side. We've got
And
people...
we're live over here. Over on our YouTube channel.
What a fun collab. Leah, this has been so much anticipation.
Right?
I flew here.
You did.
We've got to hang out last night and
We
catch
did.
up.
Yeah, eat pizza.
Eat so much good pizza. But today, I really needed to learn how to make paper flowers. So
Because
Leah...
we've been talking about it for a year now.
For a year, we've talked about coming and making paper flowers. So today, you're breaking down 3
Yes.
paper flowers. And you're like the paper flower guru.
Oh, thank you. Thanks. Okay. All right. Yes. So we're gonna do 3 paper flowers. One will be crepe. One will be a frosted paper that we use a lot. I mean, that's kind of one of our go-tos.
Mm-hmm.
And then the third one will be cardstock, which is something I don't use, and I'll tell you why. But I use it on this particular flower,
Okay.
kind of flower.
Right.
And this is what we're making, you guys. So this is I just placed the flowers here. We're going to make more. This is our beautiful fall wreath because I am so inspired by this color palette.
This is a fun palette, and you know, us coming together this morning with the ideas behind not only this project, but the projects we're making today,
Tomorrow
Thursday, and Friday
Yeah.
at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern, guys. We have 3 awesome projects that we're pulling together.
And they all go together.
And they all go together.
And it's all fall.
And it's all fall.
Yes. So this is the first one we're making, and it's, you know, I've been loving this blush, and any color of pink. I've started wearing it. It's become part of my house. And now for fall, bringing in the golds and that saffron color.
Right.
How perfect.
I love it.
And
You
it's
know,
unusual and fresh.
it
So,
definitely is. And look at this wreath, like,
yes.
amazing.
So we just stuck these on, so I'm going to take them off.
Yeah.
So this wreath, yes, this is a wreath that one of the makers made, Megan, and we actually put some little pom-pom billy balls on it, but we removed those to show how you could take this wreath and make it into something else, because that's the cool thing about making paper flowers and greenery is you can recycle and reuse and kind of reconfigure everything.
Cool.
So this is made out of crepe paper, and we have the full tutorial.
Yay!
Okay.
So before we get started with our first flower, Emily, is anyone tuning in?
You have
joining?
so many people here already, and they are so excited to see both of you together. We've got Huntress Habits, we've got Jessica, we've got Phyllis. Donna is just beside herself with excitement.
Yay! And
So,
I think this is great. So for any die cutting enthusiast, anyone that loves their Cricut, LiaGriffith.com has so many inspiring projects.
Thank you.
And linked below all the projects we're making today, we have them for you. So you can go over there, check it out, and get all the fun stuff.
Yep.
So what are we making first?
Okay, so I'm going to start with, this is kind of my go-to. This is the crepe paper anemone. We're going to do a little twist on it today because we're using copper rather than black.
Right.
Okay, so this is made out of the double-sided crepe paper, and I'm going to speak to this just for a second.
Yeah.
So this is the double-sided crepe paper. It's a slightly different color. I don't know if you guys can see that. A little bit more of a cream and then a white. So it's actually vanilla and white. This is the combo. So that's what the petals are made out of, and it's just a beautiful velvety style of crepe paper. And then we'll use the inside is this extra fine sort of metallic copper.
That.
Yeah, I usually do black, but I thought for this color palette, how fun
It's
would that
fall,
be?
right?
Yeah. So just FYI, you know, this is crepe paper is a beautiful, easy to cut with scissors, and you know
It's really
often,
a unique. It's like fabric meets paper in a
Yeah,
way.
in a
Like,
way it is.
I mean, for
'Cause it
me,
stretches.
yeah, it stretches.
But I wanted to show you guys, if you do
Oh,
want
this
to
is-
cut it on your Cricut, you know, there's a few things you want to think of. In fact, when you're cutting these out, and it will have directions on the pattern, you have to make sure that your grain line is
So why
always
is that?
because that's the stretch. And
Oh.
I'll show it to you
Okay.
as we make the flower. I just wanted to show
So make sure to go with
the
the
grain line, and the pattern is set up exactly, like don't rotate things.
So let's take a moment. I noticed that you're using the fabric grit mat.
Yes.
So would you use your rotary blade if you have a maker?
You have to use a rotary blade.
You have to use a
and
rotary
the
blade.
only cutting machine you can use is the maker because they're the only one with a rotary blade. But again, you don't have
You
one.
don't have one handy dandy.
Scissors
Not
are
only just
amazing.
scissors, but the
Oh.
Lia Griffith line of scissors.
Yeah, they're my favorite.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
we've got Eleanor asking if the paper rips when you pull it from the mat.
So that is a good question.
Very great
So this
question.
is why I'm using the fabric grip mat, and also just FYI, you guys, we cut both of these. Well, I cut this one by hand. Actually, I'm just sort of faking it here, but we cut these with the cotton setting.
Cotton setting.
Yeah, cotton fabric
How
setting.
neat.
Mhm.
So
We
you,
didn't-
you
we didn't use a
did
crepe
all the
paper.
hacking for them
Right.
to give them all the
We
tips and
tried,
tricks.
we
I
tried.
love that.
So when you cut it out, the trick is, and so the fabric is not going to be quite as sticky, the fabric mat. So you just want to roll the mat, and then that way. And also, don't over peel it against the grain. If you want to peel it with the grain.
Okay.
So that's kind of the trick on
Those
that.
are just a few things to be able to
Yeah.
master the crepe
Yeah.
paper really quickly.
Yes.
I
Yes.
love that.
Yes, and again, don't feel like you have to have a maker. You can do by hand.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel like it's nice to get a little bit closer, to our materials anyway. And then when you get, feeling really comfortable, go for it. All right, so here's our first thing. I've taken a little half-inch foam ball and I've put it onto a little wire. I usually make these in long stems, but today we're putting them on a wreath, so we don't need stems. Right,
I love
but
that.
I like to have the stem just so it's easier to
Yeah.
handle for this flower. So I have an oval, and I'm stretching that out. I'll place that right in there, and now you can see how the stretch with the grain, and then this side, this doesn't stretch this way, it only stretches one way.
Okay.
So, oops, I should have you doing this too.
Yeah, no,
Here,
I love it.
you have one to work on, because we're going to
Okay.
finish all of these today.
Yeah.
You
we're
and I,
making
maybe
one
not on
each.
video, but we're going to finish them. So I have your little low temperature. hot
Low temperature. We were
glue
talking
gun.
about this before, so explain why you recommend low temperature. And first of all, I love that this stretches if you want it to, but if you don't, like it's such a stiff. I've never seen anything like it. Now, do you add the glue straight to here?
No, and I would actually flip it over the other way.
Flip
See
it
how
over.
one side is metallic and then the other side isn't? So I would put the non-metallic side inside.
Okay.
So I've stretched it to the one direction and then glued it, and then I'm just going to kind of
Perfect.
stretch and tuck. And my wire.
Sheila's asking where you get those little foam balls from.
Yes, you can possibly find them on Amazon. Not always. We try to carry them in our shop and we sell out quickly. So we're just trying to get better at it for you guys. If you don't have a foam ball, try a wooden bead.
Ooh.
Or you can crinkle up a little bit of paper, like your scrap paper,
Yeah.
and form a ball.
Such a fun little hack, and that's
Yes.
what is the best about, I feel like, all of your tutorials is it's so tailored to finding those quirky things to make it work,
Yes. How you doing there?
I'm doing pretty good.
Okay.
I'm doing pretty good. I'm just letting the glue set before moving on.
So the nice thing about the hot glue gun, I was going to tell you.
Yeah, tell me.
So I use low temperature always, and I told you it was after years and years of using high temperature. Look at that, we have yarn stuck to it. High temperature and wearing, I was making these massive paper dresses for runway.
Of course you
I
are.
ended up with bandages on all my fingers all the time. And finally I said, okay, enough of this. I'm going to check out this little guy.
Yeah.
And I love it. And this
And
works.
it's just always low temp, right?
It's low temp, and it's hot, so it's not like you want to touch it, but it's not going to put a blister on you, and if it does, then it's time to throw it away, because sometimes they do get a little old.
Gotcha. Okay, well, this was actually super easy. It's not 100% perfect because I'm listening to you
Doesn't
talk.
matter. It doesn't.
But-
It doesn't.
Yeah,
have to be.
so I'm going to
No,
finish this part
as
out.
long as the top is nice.
Yeah,
and
look
smooth.
at that.
All right,
Look at
so
that.
I'm going to give you the next piece. Oh, I already did.
Oh.
Linda wants to know if we have a shop in Portland.
Oh, we have a shop online.
Shop online?
Yeah.
Yes.
We don't have an actual physical store. It's actually just an online store. But Blick in Portland does carry quite a few of our materials. And our
Really?
tools. Yes,
I
yes,
love
they do.
that.
All right, so I have these things called pinking shears. Now this you may have seen in your home ec class if you have not
Yes.
seen them
Yes.
before. And this is actually a professional grade where we also have these are more of a craft grade. And they,
I've used those.
yeah, and they're not quite as sharp.
Okay.
So these are great for something.
Yeah, these
I
feel
don't,
really sturdy. Like, this
Yeah.
makes me feel professional.
well, we are professional crafters.
Right. I forgot.
So all I'm gonna do is I'm just clipping one of the edges because I want it to have a little bit more shape and form and not be quite so flat.
So guys, if you're at home like me, I've never made a paper flower before. I'm sure there's someone
Yes,
out there that has never made a paper flower before.
Yeah.
We comments
At least
already
3,
of
so-
people who have the crepe paper,
Yes.
but they have, or they have the book,
Right.
and they haven't made the
Yes.
flower yet. So
Yes.
this
So-
is the video for them.
So
Okay.
this is, and a simple thing like this really helps elevate your project, right? So
Oh, yeah.
tell me,
Yeah.
like, when you're working with paper to make a
I'm gonna
flower,
do this
like,
as you're talking.
what are the biggest tips for you? Like, what makes it different?
So when you're using the crepe paper,
Yeah.
so what makes crepe paper different than any other paper is the stretch. It's the crepe. And I feel like, people are afraid of the crepe because it's like, wow, kind of precious and all that, but it's actually easier to use. I feel like it's so forgiving. It forms petal shapes so easily. It curls so easily, as we're going to show you guys some curling techniques today. So what I'm doing now, so you can see this is the grain of the paper. So you want to make for sure the grain is the direction of the short end. Then I'm going along with my little tiny precise precision cut tip scissors that are also Lia Griffith.
Lia Griffith, yes,
which
love
I
these
love.
colors.
These are like my favorite scissors ever. So I'm cutting little tiny, what I call eyelashes.
Yeah.
So yeah, and that would be the stamen for the flower.
And guys,
So-
if you, sorry to cut you off.
Yeah, go ahead.
If you,
Cut me off.
you know, with a lot of the projects that we normally do on my channel, very simple. You just get the basics, but in this and from being around you guys just for the first day, the technique is really what's going to make or break your flower. Would you
think
not
so.
agree? Like you just want to. I feel like the little things really do finish up the project.
I think they do, and you know the flowers that we teach both in the book and on the site, we try to give you little tips, but not make it so overwhelming. So you're spending hours and hours on a flower.
Yeah.
You can spend maybe an hour at the most and have something really beautiful. Do you want to fringe that?
So fringe it.
Oh, you
I've
did.
already
You
got
did.
it. Yeah.
Look at you.
No.
Okay, I'm slower than you.
No, you were
I guess I'm
teaching me.
All right, so
So what
almost
I
done.
love is that Emily, who's behind my camera over here, she actually has the first project, 5 years ago when you met Leah? You still have it in your home.
I still have it and I'm so proud of it. I turned up at the paper flower making class thinking I'm not going to be able to do this, and within an hour with Leah, and that's the great thing about Leah's designs, they are done in such a way that makes it really easy for us to achieve something stunning. And I still have it. It sits on my piano and I dust it off every now and again and show it off to my friends when they come over, and I feel very proud of it.
So Leah, I need you to tell me some tips about using this, because I feel like with paper I'm a little worried about ripping it.
okay, so I put it on the palm of my hand with the name up because I want that sharper side. And just grip it softly. And I kind of grip it between these fingers, and then I just use my thumb and press it very gently. You don't even have to put that much shape into it, but I'm telling you, a little bit of shape will change the look of your flower.
I love
So,
that.
Oops,
Because
look,
watching,
I ripped. And you know what?
Will it be okay?
Well, it's fine. I'll show you how it really doesn't matter.
because
So that's why you
sometimes,
don't need to be afraid. Yeah.
like just watching it before I was asking, it looks like you had such force, but really you just give it. It's about how you angle it.
Yeah, and I think that it's always good to practice. Each paper is different. I'm going to go ahead and glue this on and show you why the rip doesn't really matter.
Okay.
So I'm starting it right underneath the head here. I just put a little bit of glue, and then I work fast. So I'm going to go ahead and put a whole strip of glue down, and then just kind of roll it like this. And you know, if this is too fast, that's okay. Just do it at your own
pace.
But just
Nothing
know
crazy.
you don't have to. If you're going slower, don't put as much glue on.
Okay.
Because you'll want to make sure it's still warm when you hit there. Okay, so I got it all the way in. I'm just squeezing it and pushing it up into the ball. And see why it doesn't matter that I ripped it?
Oh yeah,
It
no
really
one's going to notice that
doesn't.
one little piece,
No.
right?
No, and then I just sort of fluff it out a bit, give it some, you know, natural flow, I suppose.
Okay.
And there's the center of my flower.
I
And
love
that's the hardest
that.
part, okay?
Really? So the hardest part is like practically over. I'm almost done with mine. I got this
Yes.
little piece right here. Any tips you have if I'm at this part, please correct me.
Well, I would say go ahead and glue it and then try to shove it up a little
Shove
bit.
it up.
Because we don't want a lot of bulk here. So once you get it on, you can kind of push
Go
it up and then it
fast.
goes.
I like this.
Yeah.
Does it matter that he rolled his on a different way to you?
No, it doesn't matter at all.
Really?
No,
Okay.
it doesn't. And,
As I,
and you can just put that back in. I have to confess, I usually glue these in and I didn't.
okay.
So that's my fault.
Okay. No worries.
So.
Oh, and look at this. Let me just straighten this back up.
Yep.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's fine. And
Little
it
bit.
looks like you're a little bit loose, and that's okay. Let me
Yeah.
show you how to fix it.
We're gonna just fix it.
We're just gonna fix
Look
it.
at this. So when this happens to you guys at home for your first beginner paper flower, I told the Leah team this would be interesting.
Right. I just have to
for
kind of
real.
get it in here.
Okay.
Okay, we're in.
We're in.
Whoops, we are in
It's
and
okay.
out.
We're in and out.
Barbara says only on live TV.
I be on live, and that's what I
All right,
love.
so this looks perfect. So all I'm gonna do is just add a bead of glue.
Uh huh. So guys, this is a great way to fix your paper flower.
And then just place it all the way in. And there you go.
I love that.
And look, you have one little piece sticking out. No big deal. Just take your scissors and kind of trim it up a little bit. Maybe cut it that way and that way. Just sort of fluff it. There you go.
Guys, I was worried about that one.
No.
Leah's the expert for a reason.
Okay, then you're going to grab one of these little stacks. So this is the petals. We have, this particular flower has 9 petals and there's 3 of each size.
Okay. So let's talk, you've talked about this, but this is your...
I think I have more than one flower. Oh no, wait, sorry. You know what I did? I forgot that I didn't put them in stacks. I put them in stacks of the same size. So you need 3 of those.
3 of those.
I'm going to give you flat ones, but I'm going to talk about the ones that are not flat. I need 3 of these, and then you need 3 of those.
I need 3 of these. So Emily, do we have any questions? Like, this is the live stream to be asking questions. We are here just crafting, hanging out. So are these what I need? I need 3 of each.
3 of each. Do you have 3 of those? That looks like 2.
Deborah's asking where to get the crepe paper from.
Yeah. So you can get it at liagriffith.com. Liagriffith.com. I said that really fast. We have a shop. You can get it at amazon.com.
Love it.
It is online at a few different places, but for sure Blick and dickblick.com carries it. I believe, I actually think Target.com has it now.
Getting fancy.
Target has the book and Walmart has the crepe paper.
Walmart, there we go.
So can we take a break? We didn't even mention, I don't even think we introduced me on your channel for
but
then we need to talk about the book.
This is our first time, so we may not have anyone watching. I don't know. We haven't done this before, so it's new. But those of you who are watching or might come in later and watch, this is Tanner, and he's one of my blogger friends who we met a year or so ago at a Cricut event, and we have been talking about doing a collaboration
for a while.
Yeah, for a while. So we kind of came up with some things that we thought I could teach him and he could teach me, and then we could do a whole set together.
Right. So tomorrow, today we're making paper flowers. Tomorrow we're going to give Leah a one-on-one with the Cricut knife blade.
Yes.
She's been so busy working on these books, she hasn't got to play with the knife blade. So we've got a really fun fall project. It's been fun. We have a fun fall project to walk you through with the knife blade. But as we continue, talk about your paper flower book.
Oh yeah.
Because there is a whole book for anyone that wants to get started, right?
Is. So we have, it's brand new, released August 7th. You can get it on Amazon.com. We have it in our shop. And I'm going to show you how to do that really quick.
I'm just doing it.
You can go 1 and 2. That's it.
Oh,
and then you'll go 3. So.
And then to like 3?
Yep. Just to kind of give it a little kickback. And there's 2 sides. I'm doing it on the white side. So my white side's up, your yellow side's up. That's fine.
Okay.
I like mixing it. One flower, another flower, another. It gives it some variety. Yeah.
So this is different. We had you on the channel to talk about your die cutting craft book, but you have now a specific book just for paper flowers, correct?
Yes.
So this is different. People need to run out and grab the new.
It's a great book. It has 21 flowers plus 9 ways to arrange them, and we go through step by step. It has all the patterns. You can download the SVG. You can download and print the PDFs.
Yeah. Do we have one of your printouts?
Or how about a book?
Right. We need a book here. But guys, what she has, if you're intimidated to do the SVG for any reason, you don't have a die cutting machine, you want to use crepe paper.
You need to,
right. You want to use crepe paper, but you don't have a maker. On your site, you give these printables. So you're able to print this out and use that as a template, which we love.
All right, so I'm almost done with mine.
That's okay. I'm just talking away.
That's okay.
You can keep 2.
This is going to be like an hour-and-a-half video. Okay, so you guys can stop and come back and watch later. We're coming out. So all I'm doing is giving it a little tiny stretch in the middle. And the way that I like to think about this type of crepe paper especially is that it's like clay. So you just sort of form it like clay. Think of it as that really delicate, you don't want to pull too hard to break it apart. And I just want to give...
this double-sided crepe paper is probably my favorite.
I love it.
Like, it's so... I just love the feel.
Velvet. Yeah.
Do the patterns cost anything?
So we do have some free patterns. You can go into our freebie section, and then we also have a membership that you can have all the patterns.
And actually, we do
he's
have a
right
version
here.
of the anemone is free.
Yes, this you can go and get this one or another version for free.
Cool.
So yeah.
And then on Friday, I think if people tune in, there's going to be a
Yes.
little something
surprise.
special.
Mhm.
So yeah, make sure you watch us every day. Okay, what I'm doing is I put a little bit of glue there,
Uh-huh.
and then I'll pop it right behind the head.
Now, how do I know which petal am I
So
grabbing?
I'm starting with the small ones.
So the
three
smallest
small
ones.
Mhm.
Smallest ones first?
Yep. And then just a little bit of glue.
Just a little bit. Oh, I've ran out of hot.
Oh well, I can fix
Oh,
that for
yay!
you.
We are in Leah's craft room. Can we just give her a quick glance around because this place is gnarly. Like I told her just to tell me how much rent is because I'm not leaving.
We're gonna have the Tanner and Leah show.
The Tanner and Leah show every day, 3 o'clock.
Well, I think it would be an all-day reality show. Okay, so my first 3 petals I put into like
It's a wave.
triangle. Like a trillion. I know, it's kind of fun seeing everybody all behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So kind of a 3 triangle, and then I'll start with my second 3. I'm gonna slow down for you.
Okay, go ahead.
Say my second 3 is the middle size, and then I tuck it right behind and about, I would say, halfway.
Halfway, right?
So you want room for the 3rd petal. And let me tell you a secret. It doesn't have to be perfect. In fact,
Well, mine's not. Look at this big gap.
But it looks more natural if it's not.
Well, you know what? Natural is the way we're going today. So now we're going having the medium size.
And medium size.
Just kind of.
I placed another set.
Perfect.
Kind of behind it.
Okay. Guys, isn't this so much fun? I'm learning something new. I hope some of you at home are learning something new and fun as well.
I hope so too.
Yeah.
They're loving the space, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, so do I. This is my dream craft studio, I'm telling you.
Would the flowers be okay to use on a cake?
Yes, this is all very non-toxic crepe paper. Even the darker colors, you want to be careful that they don't bleed because it's not a non-bleed. We didn't want it to be a non-bleed for several reasons. But there's no chemicals. You can eat it. You can eat it. You would want to.
I would want to, yeah.
You could if you wanted to. So then I put my last 3 and look at that. And I love yours.
Do
I love
you?
that it's almost more of a bud.
Okay.
It's a little bit more
Okay.
closed. Yeah.
Look at this, and you're okay with that? We cut this on like the yellow side and the white side, and it's kind of
I
like
think
going
it's fine.
together.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. So here's like the pale yellow side. Here's the white side, and then yours will be the kind of that. I've done that before, where I switched it up.
Right. I'm just gonna squeeze this one in, kind of like right here. See what I'm doing with this? Just kind of squeeze.
You can do that. See, make it up.
Just making it.
But
Just
it's
making
so
it.
beautiful. Look how nice
Yeah,
that
and
looks.
we'll be able to squeeze this one like right.
Right there. Perfect.
Oh, look at! I'm actually, guys, I'm
You're going to show us, Tanner?
I'm loving this, and I'm honestly really, this is something that
Look
makes it
how
a
this
little
looks like a bud.
nervous. And
Because it looks like it's blooming, and I like having that variety.
Right.
I've never really made anemone buds, but now you've inspired me. So
oh my
yeah.
gosh. So yeah, with the hot glue, you do have a few seconds to like kind
You
of
do.
place it and decide. And honestly, if they wanted to, couldn't they? I know it's probably not the best practice, but could they go in right after and make
still,
it?
Well, they can
Yeah.
also go in and curl a little bit more if they wanted to. I
That's
don't want to
good.
because I like it.
Yeah.
I'm not
that's good.
changing it. But if you want to go back, even after it's glued, I could go back and say, oh, you know what? I need a little more curl here. Or I want to reshape and pull it back a bit here. You can.
I'm so happy with my flower.
I love
like
it.
it's
Yeah.
very random.
We need a couple more like that to go in our wreath.
Right.
We want some.
Well, then I will make those.
Okay, would you do that? Okay, let's get to our next flower.
Okay, so we're done with the name of this flower it has left me. What did we just make? An anemone. Link
Yes.
below. Next up, we are making the succulent.
The succulent.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. So this is a pink succulent, which I'm loving.
Yeah.
But it looks a little green, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
You want to know how I did that?
I do.
I'm going to have you do it.
Ooh.
All right. So I went through my whole pan pastel set, and you can order the greens, and you can see a bunch right there in front of us.
Yeah.
And I picked the one that I tested a bunch of different ones, and I picked the one I thought I liked the best. I'm going to let you do this.
Okay. So we're using this. This is a great little thing. Not only can you test on it, but you can actually do the process on just a scrap piece of
Might
cardstock.
as well. Since I've already kind of messed that one up,
Yeah.
I'll use it. So in this case, I am going to use a paintbrush. Sometimes I would use a sponge, like a
Like a
pan
makeup sponge?
pastel. Well, it's a
Oh,
pan
okay.
pastel sponge specifically.
Okay.
So all I'm going to do is just grab a little color and then
Oh, that's
just brush the
easy.
tip. It's so easy. and I'll just, you know, flip it, do all 3, and then turn it over.
So you're honestly not even focusing on like making sure the edges are darker. Like it's
Oh,
just
no.
very
No.
light and easy.
Yeah, it's light and easy. And if I just start on it on the outside and go,
Yeah, it naturally does that, right?
It's like putting on eyeshadow.
So can I use any
you may
paintbrush?
or may not know how to do.
I don't know how to do.
Halloween costumes look
You know,
like, but-
no, never done that one.
Donna is sending drooling face emojis
Oh,
over the pan
Donna.
pastels.
Yes, these are the most amazing. We
Yeah.
use kind of inexpensive, just craft brushes. You can get them.
So stuff they probably already have, right?
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my
You don't need
gosh.
anything fancy for the brush.
No.
Now, you know, if we use pan pastels on crepe paper, it sets pretty well, and it does also on this paper. This is, I was going to tell you.
Yeah, tell us the
on this
paper.
one.
Give them all
So
the
this
deets.
one is actually, I believe it's called Rose, I think, and this is actually a Cricut paper.
You were telling me about it. Yes, I think you're
Yeah.
close.
And this is a cardstock. Now, I say I don't usually.
You don't use cardstock.
Well, not usually because it doesn't shape the way I want it to shape for most. But
It's not as flexible.
succulents are a very flat, or they're thicker. Their petals are thicker, so I want that thickness
Yeah.
in my petal for the succulent. So that's why it works really well. And you don't need quite as much shape.
Okay.
So that's why it works so well.
Fatima is asking if these pan pastels or this one is from the Lia Griffith line or not.
This one is not. I actually went through my whole thing. This is bright yellow.
Wait,
green.
you have
actually,
Lia Griffith?
I
There's Lia Griffith.
actually,
Pastels?
if someone, I don't know if anyone can.
Anyone in the
grab-
office upstairs? We need a
Let
book.
me sell
And
Behind in the top drawer, there is a green in our set. Let's see
Oh,
how
I
much
want to see the
different
Lia
it is.
Griffith set, guys. I'm telling you, this is such a fun craft hangout. I'm learning things.
Well, the truth is that both Tanner and I work really hard and are very busy, so we don't always know.
We can't keep
that
up with
we
everything.
have our own.
I love it.
So it's a little bit darker, but you could use this
Oh,
one.
you totally could.
You totally could.
And you were testing so many different shades. Like,
Yes.
look at, I mean,
Yes.
yeah. But we just wanted to have fun.
So this is Megan. You know, Megan uses this one. It's her
She
own
claimed
credit
it.
set.
She claimed it.
Yeah.
And this is available again in the Lia Griffith shop for those
Yes.
who are asking.
And at Blick.
And Blick, yeah.
Love that.
And Blick has all of the pan pastels. So if you wanted this particular color, it's bright yellow-green shade. That's the name of it.
Love it.
Yeah.
So guys, if you are loving everything you're seeing here, we have Lia instructing us, giving us a sneak peek to what she teaches in her membership at our virtual summit, which I'm super excited about, that you're going to give kind of like in-depth tutorials to some paper flowers. So we're really excited for that and more. So be sure to check that out if you're not already registered to get access to that. That'll be a really fun thing happening later in October.
I
So
love
that's
making
another-
paper flowers.
I can tell. And this is easy. This is seamless.
Oh, it's fun. It's really meditative too. I love to put on a book or something and listen and just make.
How many of each do we need?
We're doing this whole set.
Okay,
So the file, you just need one of each when you cut them out.
Family wants to know if she can get the pattern for the sunflower behind you and a rose.
The sunflower is in the book.
In the
Yes,
book? Yes.
yes, it is.
So
and so is
explain
the rose.
for the book. You know, I remember the die cut book was such a great
Oh,
value.
my goodness, yes.
Let's talk about the paper flower value. What comes with it? What all do you get? I know the.
You know, I have to tell you guys, we are not doing this to sell books, right?
Right.
Yeah, just so you know, that wasn't.
No,
our
that is
intention.
not. But I just feel like it's such a good value.
No,
like,
it is.
we just have to tell them.
Well, okay, the book I think it's on sale today. I went and looked, and it's on sale.
We've got it on sale. Are you sure? Are you sure we didn't plan this? We
No,
didn't.
I think it is. You know how Amazon will put things on sale.
Yeah.
It is on sale on Amazon, and it's regularly $16.99, so it's less than that. And there are 21 flowers and 9 ways to arrange for that.
So
price.
when you say 21 flowers, are we getting the templates or the
Yeah.
files?
Yeah. Yes.
That's such
yes.
a great value.
Yeah, you can. The files and the templates are in the book, but you can also download them. There's a code to download, so that's all there. And then there's also an ebook that you can buy. And I think it's like $3 or something. It's so.
I
Affordable.
love that.
But you know, I love paper books, so
Yeah.
Yeah,
want
so
to.
that-
And this is a good quality book.
yes.
I love mine.
Oh, it is a good. It's by Penguin Random House.
Mm-hmm.
Is the publisher. Their
They nicely sent me a
division.
copy.
Yes, their division of Potter is their division that does all of these lifestyle books, and they're the ones who published it for us.
Well, thank you for them.
So I've just checked, and the book is on sale today for $14.40.
Look at that, guys. Love
On
it.
Prime as well, so you could have it
yeah.
by Friday.
Yes, and make sure and give us a nice review.
Yes, please review the book if you have it. You can actually get
Really
both
nice
the books.
reviews.
Only nice reviews.
You can actually
I'm
get
kidding.
both cutting machine crafts and the Crepe paper flowers
Okay.
book together for $24.96,
Ooh,
which is
a
that must be
ton.
almost 100 files
Yeah.
there.
It's a lot.
100 projects.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Crazy.
that's a really good price. All right.
Okay.
So we're done with this one, and it has a lot of petals. I'm just going to move that. Grab your
Oh, we're grabbing it again. Yay, curling tool.
Yes. All right, so we're going to try and stack them in order, but go ahead and just curl for now. And it's easy.
Curl.
I wouldn't curl it too much. You just want to sort of pop. So what I do is I hold onto it so
Wait,
it doesn't
is that
rip.
okay?
Yeah, and then I just kind of pop my finger over
I getcha.
so that it sort of presses it against.
Oh, look at that.
But you want
So
to make
cool.
sure you hold the base.
You're
This one
holding
didn't
the
get done,
base.
but that's okay. I kind of like the mixture. Yeah, so that you don't tear it.
Okay.
What could you use if you don't have the curling tool?
Yes, you can use you can use a pair of scissors. This is what I used to do. Is I would just open my scissors like this, or I would close them and just use the edge of my scissors.
Yeah.
Or you can also take a dowel and just roll it. It's not quite as nice though because it doesn't. It's not smooth.
But another thing Leah was telling me before the live was that you can use this amazing tool as a bone folder,
Oh yeah.
as
yeah,
a
yeah.
scoring tool. Like,
Mhm.
hello.
This is a bone folder right there.
Yeah,
That's
like
what that is.
Can we
it's-
just have a look at
let's,
it?
Let's just look at it. So you can use this to score or be a bone folder. You know, it looks like you all really went above and beyond to make this such a functional tool.
Yes, thank you to our friends over at Fuscars.
Yay!
I like to think about these fabulous
Yeah,
things.
for all of us creatives.
Yes. So when I find, I'm stacking them, you can see this, right?
Mhm.
So when I find the match, this is kind of fun. This is like a game. This is a game we used to play as kids.
Yeah,
Find the little matching animals.
right? So what's everyone saying? What do we got going on?
I want to hear some
Yeah, let us know some questions. Let us
You
know
know, in the
what
last
people-
couple of minutes, they've gone a bit quiet. I think they're just stunned by your brilliance.
Oh my goodness! Have we had people?
We have had
Okay.
Donna and Sheila are saying that they were in line for the book signing at the Cricket Mountain
Oh,
Makeathon, and they
hello,
would
guys,
just
Sheila.
they're so
Yeah.
happy to have a signed copy of the book.
So Emily, Matthew is telling me, he could say it out loud if he wanted to, that he's
Battery's
running out of
running low.
battery.
Uh-oh.
Over 30 minutes.
So we-
Let's see if I can go grab a charger.
So
Okay.
we're actually, our video is going to stop for a minute, and we might have a pause, but we'll come back on.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, in Matthew's absence, I will let you know that Hannah was asking who the cameraman was.
Oh,
Come
Hannah!
on over and crash.
The cameraman is Matthew, and
And he's very talented.
he is
Oh.
very
I
talented.
think we're missing one. Oh,
Probably.
stop talking.
Oh, hi, Donna. Donna says hi to Emily. Sorry.
Okay, so looks like we have an extra one for some reason, so I
Who
think
knows?
it came from that
I probably
one.
just grabbed it. I probably just grabbed it.
Okay. So what I'm doing, and I'm gonna have to help me.
Okay,
So I'll just take and put a tiny bit of glue,
tiny bit.
and we're gonna cross them like this, and then just go ahead and do that
Okay.
to everyone.
Love this. Guys, I
Okay.
have been wanting to make paper succulents for quite some time. So I told Leah she's making a crafter's dream come true today.
And I have to tell you, this is our first pink one.
The first
We
pink,
have
I'm
never-
in office when that
Yes,
happens.
we've never done a pink succulent, and I
Ah.
love them. I want to do a whole bunch now.
Yeah. So when you're making paper flowers, do you look at like a realistic
I
flower
do,
for
yes.
inspiration?
Yes.
Would you recommend for a beginner to do that as well?
Well, that's what we take the work out for them. Yeah. So you know, we're craft designers, and
Yeah.
we design these projects so that the crafters can just take it and run.
Just take it and
not,
go.
You know,
Don't
and
have
it's
to
fun.
worry about it.
And I think I know a lot of really talented crafters
Mhm.
who started out just by, you know, using our patterns and then ended up becoming a designer themselves. So
Definitely.
absolutely. I
I
mean,
love that. And you're just going kind of building yours up.
so I'm building
Look
it
at
up.
this.
I'm just going bigger and bigger.
Mhm,
Looks like I didn't
mhm.
put enough glue on that one.
That's okay.
So
Look at
there we go.
this.
So we just, I'm trying not to use too much glue, but
Right.
enough so it'll stick. And I'm
Yes.
just, see how every set I'm doing it
Mhm,
so it hits
mhm,
between.
mhm.
Back on YouTube.
Okay,
We're
we're
back.
back.
So one question is, what would your kind of essential bundle of tools look like if you were a beginner paper flower maker?
Yes, I do have an essential bundle, and I'll show it to you guys. I'm going to have you finish this up, Tanner.
I will finish it. You
So,
start talking
and then
about
I'll
tools.
show you. Okay, so my tools. This is my essential bundle right here. I use these. I definitely use these. This is an optional, but I like
You
them.
move the anemones.
Yes, so everyone can see it. And I'll talk about them too, and then the wire cutters. All right, so because I usually do stems, so the regular scissors, definitely, absolutely. And I like these, they're non-stick blades. And, you know, they have a lifetime warranty. They're just amazing scissors. Then my, you know, my very fine tip scissors, one of my favorites, wire cutters with the needle nose pliers. And I use these for almost every flower because I usually use wire. And then the curling tool is a must. Low temperature hot glue gun, cheap. And then a really great pair of pinking shears. And of course, this isn't the Lia Griffith brand, but it matches fairly well. It coordinates. So that's why I like this color. But you can use any color you want.
So lots of
Yes.
people wanting to know where the tools are available, where the crepe paper is from, and where they can get these patterns.
Okay, we're going to have the patterns for you guys. Oh, wait. We have the patterns for you guys. There's links for them. But stick around because you're going to want to be here.
We want to be here every day.
Because
Yeah,
we have
every
surprise
day.
for you.
On day 3 is gonna be good.
Yes.
It's gonna be really good.
Yes. And the tools you can get at liagriffith.com. You can get them at Joanne. Help me out, Emily, to remember all the different places.
All the places.
We don't always know. Sometimes we'll.
It comes and goes.
Yeah, sometimes we'll
they're-
just be in a
they're
craft
such great
store and there they are.
And then, so definitely
yeah.
liagriffith.com for these essential tools, and then our essential bundle, and then definitely Joanne and
Yeah.
Joanne.com. So I'm going to show you one thing, and then I'll
Okay.
talk about crepe paper.
Let's
So
see it.
all I did was I kind of brought my fingers into the center and just pull them up a little bit to give it extra shape.
Really? So we just
Yeah.
pull these together?
And then that is it.
I love
Yes.
that. Just bring these together.
So the crepe paper, Amazon,
Amazon.
liagriffith.com,
Lia Griffith.
Blick,
Yes.
dickblick.com.
Is that the same
Walmart.
company?
It is.
It's the same
It
company.
is.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
Walmart.com.
Walmart. I love
Yeah.
Walmart. You all know we shop with Mama at Walmart all the time.
Yes.
So is it in all Walmarts?
It's on Walmart.com.
.com.
Yes.
Okay,
Mhm.
okay. We've got to find it on the .coms.
Yes.
They've got everything in the craft section at Walmart.com. It's a good selection.
And Hannah, bless her heart, keeps asking me where the pan pastels are from.
Yeah, pen pastels. We do have them at liagriffith.com, and they have them at Blick and dickblick.com. Blick
Okay.
stores and so I'm going to show you this. So
So we made the succulent. The succulent's
Yes.
awesome. We love our succulent. Now we're moving
and
on.
ask your questions,
Yeah.
you guys. If I'm not
Ask
answering
the-
enough,
ask all the
again,
questions.
and we'll tell you exactly.
Ask all the
what.
questions.
And we'll try to get links for all this as well.
We'll have to just
Yeah.
drop a
Link
bunch
bill.
of links later at the end of the video. So tune back in and
Yes.
leave a comment after the video. We'll make sure we respond back. So I see again,
Yeah.
you're using a fabric grip mat.
I know.
What is
Okay,
going on?
Well, first of all, I want to say, well, back in the day when I first started making paper flowers,
Uh-huh.
I cut every single petal by hand.
Hand cut.
And which was fine. It was great. It really
Didn't it
brought
teach you
me,
patience?
It taught me patience, and it really made me one with the paper.
Right.
Right?
You were a
So-
paper whisperer.
But I will say that as things move along, there are some paper flowers that really you do not want to cut by hand.
Yeah.
And this is one of them.
I mean, it looks just a little intricate.
It's hello.
Just
Hello,
a little
sunshine,
intricate.
right?
Yeah.
So these are our spider mums. I have two
Okay.
different versions for you. So this one I didn't even design until we were working with the Cricut because I just wouldn't want to cut
You wouldn't
by
want
hand.
no. I mean, it would be so
And
hard
if
to
any
cut
of you
such
do,
delicate.
please send us a picture and we will post it and
Yeah.
give you lots and lots
Because
of
if you
love.
can cut this, like it's so intricate. I mean,
I'm
blown
not saying
away.
you can't.
Yeah, I
it's
mean,
just,
it would just be look at all these.
So the reason why I use the fabric mat on this as well is because it is such a delicate cut.
Yeah.
I don't want it to be too sticky because
Right.
then it's really hard to get off. So, doing our typical paper roll.
just normal.
I might
Look at
need
this.
some
Here,
help
tell
with
me.
this.
I'll hold this. You hold.
Okay.
We'll just
So you
kinda
can
go
kind
with
of
it.
pull the excess
Love
off first.
that. And we have that little piece.
Yep, I'll show you why I have that there.
Okay.
And then these are pretty easy. Look at how fun. They're almost like little.
And have you tested this with like the light grip mat and it still is too?
The light grip mat works as well. I just had both and I grabbed this one because I know it works.
I mean, it works really
Yeah.
well. Like, who knew you could do so many different things with your fabric grit
Yeah,
mat?
I know.
Is this a fabric grit mat that is dedicated for paper? I see that there's no like.
No, it was a brand new mat.
Oh, okay.
Yes, okay. So
Okay.
now this is one of the easiest flowers. And the first one that I made, which is actually on the site, and I think we have a free version of it.
Okay.
It's a very thick, heavier petal,
Mm-hmm.
and it's similar to what they might have at Paper Source. And then as we became more sophisticated, we were able to do some different sizes.
This
So-
is very airy and fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a spider mom. I mean, how fun is this for fall? We have
All
we have
these colors.
Succulent, spider
What an
mom,
untraditional fall
Yes.
vibe, which I love.
Exactly. So you should have 2 of each size.
Two of each size. Okay.
And you might want to start in the center again. We're going to curl, and I'm going to show you how easy
I
this
have to
is.
organize these real quick.
Yeah, I'm going to organize it too. I like to be organized. So there should be 8 petals total.
8 petals total.
I'm going to move this.
The largest one is.
Yes. And then very delicately, again, I'm just going to hang on to my petals inside of the petal.
So Leah, tell us if something rips with this project. What's the biggest thing that could happen if
Glue it back together.
something ripped?
Yeah, just glue it back together. Yeah, and if it's so bad, I mean, yeah, I would just, if I ripped a few of these off, I would just get some glue and kind of tack them in because you won't see it by the time you're done.
Right, when you build it up.
And look how delicate, I mean, you barely even touch it
Yeah.
and it just curls. You almost don't want to curl it too much
Mm-hmm.
because you want it to lay a little bit flatter. Okay, is this the easiest flower?
This is, I mean, I'm having a lot of fun, and this is something, turn on a little show, build a little. Like,
Although you want to watch.
Yeah, you want to
your
watch.
fingers.
You definitely want to watch. Listen to some music, just chill, hang out,
Podcast,
just
podcast,
craft. Oh,
or-
podcast are
Yeah.
everything to me.
What kind of paper is this?
Okay,
Ooh,
yes.
let's talk about
okay,
the paper.
the
So I'm
paper.
intrigued.
So we have 2 different. So we're gonna do this pink one, which is a little bit different design, and then this yellow one. This is actually a frosted paper. You can kind of see. This is another reason why I like frosted paper. Is it adds that dimension and color because it kind of changes color as you move it.
I love this paper.
Isn't it pretty? This is a something gold, which I forgot all of a sudden,
Okay.
and this is a blush.
So where did you get it? I know people's gonna be asking
Yeah,
where
yeah,
where can they
Well,
get this
we get
frosted
it
paper?
from a company called paperpapers.com, and we will have a link to
Good.
this exact, and it is text weight.
And I
It's
just
not
realized for
person.
all 3 of these projects, we're linking straight to the blog post on liagriffith.com
As
that I'm
well.
sure has all of these tools,
Yes,
everything
but we're doing
outlined.
different colors.
That's true. That's
Yeah.
true. Okay.
Brenda wants to know what you're using to curl the petals.
Ooh, we were just
Yes,
talking about it, Brenda.
she
Welcome,
must be
welcome,
new.
welcome. Yes, so if you are just tuning in, and if I love to do this, if you are watching live for the first time, leave a comment and let us welcome you. Emily will let you know. But what is this tool? What do you consider this tool?
It's a curling tool.
It's a curling tool, Fiskars by Lia Griffith. How stinking cool! And it's also a bone folder,
Yeah, or
scoring tool, like crazy.
So the multiple use. I like having more than one use for my
Yeah.
tools.
Especially if you're investing in a tool, you want to be able to use it for multiple things.
And again, I don't want all of my petals to be curled exact. I want them a little bit hairy and
Good, because that's what mine are turning
Yeah.
out to be.
And that's one of the, I think that the only mistake you can make with this is over curling.
Okay. Over curling.
Yeah,
So just
yeah,
a little
yeah.
light.
Yeah, a little bit light. Get these 2 stuck together, but we'll get them. There we are.
Vixer wants to know where they can get that curling tool. They need one.
Yes.
Yes.
LiaGriffith.com or Joanne.com or Joanne Stores carries these. Although I've noted that they're often sold out. These tend to be pretty popular. So
Yeah.
they're one of my main tools that I use. See, I overcurled that one. So what I might do is I might go back and sort of
Straighten it
uncurl
out.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so do you feel like this paper is one that is very forgiving? Is that why this is
I
a
think
great
it's forgiving.
beginner?
Well, I think that the
How
reason
does this look? How's this look?
I think it's great.
It's too much? Should I curl some more? No?
I think that's perfect.
Okay.
The reason why I like this paper is it curls better, it's softer,
Mm-hmm.
so it gives a softer dimension that looks more like a petal, where cardstock to me is harsh,
Mm-hmm.
and it doesn't have that delicateness, I
Right.
guess. Yeah. So I'm doing the same thing where I'm going from large to smaller.
Large to smaller?
Yeah. So I'm doing the 2 first and then gluing them in to the center. And once I finish, and it's, these are such tiny little petals that it's hard to see that you're not crossing them in the wrong place. It really doesn't matter. Just glue them together.
I love it. So we are starting larger, right? Okay.
You can do either way.
Either way. Just wanted to
Doesn't matter.
make sure.
Anyway, yep. And I'll do somewhat the same thing that once I get it into the center and let it cool for a second, then I'll kind of put my fingers underneath and fluff it up towards.
Smart.
Yeah.
So guys, are you all learning anything? Like, tell me what you all are thinking about all of these paper flowers. Are you inspired to, carve out some time this weekend to make your own paper flowers?
And
like,
share with us.
and share them with us. What was the hashtag we decided? Anybody remember?
Tan and Leah.
So TAN
Leah.
and Leah, if you want to share your projects that we make. And
So this one I curled more, this one I curled less. And variety. You always want variety. So
no each the same.
never.
Right? Never.
No, you don't want it to look the same. So this little piece, which I'm not using, and I usually cut it out in green. If I wanted to add a stem, let me grab a stem.
They want to know the name of this flower. Jessica's asking the name of this flower.
This is a spider mum.
A spider mum. How
Yeah.
fancy.
I think it's funny that we chose 3 flowers with very weird names.
I know. Sounds more intimidating
Kind
than
of
it really is.
Halloween-esque, you know? All right, so I have my needle nose pliers. I'm going to bend this to a 90-degree angle. I used to say 45. Oops, somebody corrected me. And then just slide that little piece on.
Guys, if I can do this, you all can do this as
Add some
well.
glue. Yes, you can.
Oh,
And then place it on the back.
yes.
stem.
I love it.
I'm holding it because it's still warm. So there you have a stem.
Look
So you
at
can use this in
this.
bouquets. You can, again, just
Use it. Just have some fun
And
with
the
it.
reason why we didn't put this on, for those of you who are just coming new, the reason why we didn't put stems on our flowers is we're actually building a wreath. And
Yeah.
I'll just kind of give you a sneak peek.
Oh.
Oh, and so there's another mum as well.
Another
It's
mum.
Exactly the same though. We
Exactly
don't
the
need to
same.
make it because
Mhm.
it's just a little bit different shape. So we're
Yeah,
going
look
to
at all of these.
we're gonna make this gorgeous
Mhm.
wreath with these flowers. And how unusual, but it's kind of a
Very
fall flavor.
Yes. I love it.
What do you guys think?
So Brenda's saying that she's just mesmerised by it all. Sheila says her brain is about to explode because of your knowledge.
Guys, I think there's so many good tips in this video that you'll want to reference back. You're going to want to tune back in and see and rewatch because did we just make 3 flowers?
We did.
we
We made 3 flowers with 3 different types of paper.
Paper.
My 3 favorites.
your 3
Crepe
favorites.
paper, frosted
Yeah.
paper, and then a cardstock.
That was way easier than I expected.
Right?
Like
And look at your flowers.
My flowers,
I know, they're beautiful.
I had no idea. If you're anything like me, you follow Leah on Instagram, you see her videos on YouTube, but you feel a little intimidated to take action. I think this is the perfect example that with your machine, you can make amazing vinyl projects, you can make amazing paper projects, but heck, you can use some amazing different types of paper with the techniques and tools to create some really awesome projects. Like, check this out. Like this was my first paper flower.
So I have to say, we started with the hardest and ended with the easiest.
I
And
believe
did
it.
that on
On
purpose.
purpose. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
And the succulent is another favorite. Like, everything is so much fun. Leah, this has been so much fun.
Yes.
And I've learned so much. I know everyone at home has learned a bunch. And if you are part of liagriffith.com and you just needed some fun projects to get you crafty, these are good.
And get a little behind the scenes.
A lot of behind the
Right?
scenes.
So
Before-
come
bef-
back tomorrow. Yes.
Sorry to interrupt.
No,
Before you
no.
head off, a few people asking about the gold ring there.
Oh, yes.
This was one of my favorite because this is
Okay.
such an unconventional wreath.
Yes.
And so tell us, where can they get something like this at the
Oh,
craft store,
goodness.
right?
Yeah,
Like,
at the craft store. It's just a hoop. It's like a craft hoop that you can use for different projects.
now, Leah, are these crepe paper?
Yes, they're crepe paper leaves.
Ah.
And we have that project as well. I think, I will be honest, we probably got this ring on Amazon because
Hey,
we
Amazon's
work
the
a lot and we
best.
don't have time to shop.
No, we gotta stay
Yes.
creative.
So these are all crepe paper
How
leaves, and we have a
fun.
tutorial for that as well. This is one of our makers, Megan, designed this.
She's
And
amazing.
she has little pom-poms that we pulled off just to show off this wreath. And you can, it's easy. This is one of the simplest. I mean, look how beautiful these branches are.
And this is very like airy. Like this is a very airy wreath. When you think
It's
of
not heavy.
yeah, when you think of wreaths, it may be really thick. I have the issue with wreaths where at our old house we had a screen door and then our front door,
And you wouldn't see anything.
and you couldn't see anything. So this would be something you could put on the door, and when it shuts,
Yeah,
it's
it'd
easy.
be a little flatter.
It's a little flatter. I love this.
And I like it that it's not the traditional fall.
Mm-mm.
I mean, there's not fall leaves. It's actually just kind of a fun, playful fall color
Yeah.
palette. So.
Well, this is fun. Well, tomorrow she taught me a ton. I mean, a ton about paper flowers. But if you're feeling intimidated with using your Cricut knife blade, you may be like today. You've got the knife blade.
Yep.
You really need to take the first step with a project. To come back tomorrow,
We have a really
same
cute
time.
project designed for you guys.
Amazing project for you
So,
guys
yeah.
to make with it. It's gonna be a lot of fun. And then Friday, we're going to share with you guys what all of this is coming
Oh, we have one
together.
more project though.
We have another project that we're going to share, and then share how all three come together.
Yep.
And this is fun. So 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern, you're going to be able to come back and hang out.
Yep.
Is there anything else we need to share? Any last comments, words?
The third
The
project on
third.
Friday, we're actually going to reveal. So we have our entryway that's going to be kind of decorated and designed for fall. So you guys want to come back and see that.
Definitely.
Yeah, so there's a few questions there that I think we'll probably go back and answer. There's people asking for
Perfect.
links, and so
We'll
don't
get
worry.
them.
And we'll get you the patterns.
Yes, and everything linked are the project links on liagriffith.com. So thank you guys for tuning in. Talk to you all
Bye.
later. Bye.
Bye, YouTube.